The Tennessee Titans should not pay the price to trade for Maxx Crosby, but Titans fans are severely underrating one of the best players in the NFL. I'll explain on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn your college basketball energy into even bigger wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. On today's bonus edition of Locked On Titans, we're going to talk about the strange connection between Maxx Crosby and the Tennessee Titans. I'll tell you why. What it would cost to get him is just too much for the Tennessee Titans, but I'll also tell you that Titans fans are severely underrating Maxx Crosby and the level of player that he is. Before we dive in, do want to thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without you guys. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. We have free agency starting next week. The draft right around the corner. You want to stay as up to date, as entertained, and as informed as a Tennessee Titans fan could possibly be. Make sure, again, you stay locked in with the number one Tennessee Titans podcast in the world, Locked On Titans. But with that being said, we saw something a little strange happen earlier this week. Maxx Crosby was connected to the Titans and listed as one of the top destinations that he could be traded to. They were number 2 on the list. And quite honestly, I don't think that makes any sense at all. Why would Maxx Crosby want to go from the Raiders, a bad organization where he's tired of not winning, and come to the Tennessee Titans, a team that's won 3 games in back-to-back seasons? Like, that just does not add up. And quite honestly, a team that would be willing to pay the price to go get Maxx Crosby is probably a team that's close to contention, like the Bears or the Lions or the Bills or the Ravens, teams like that, teams that actually can say to themselves, hey, with the right couple of moves, we could be in the Super Bowl. That's not the Titans. I think the Titans can turn things around. I think the Titans can be a better, more competitive football team this year. I think it's even a possibility the Titans could make the playoffs. Now, that's at the high end. That is the ceiling. A 10-7 year is the ceiling, in my opinion. But, that's not the type of team that Maxx Crosby should be interested in. And quite honestly, it wouldn't make sense for the Titans to be interested in Maxx Crosby at the price he is likely going to garner. If I'm the Raiders and I'm going to trade Maxx Crosby, I better get back 2 first-round picks. We just saw Micah Parsons go for 2 first-round picks and a starting-level player. If I'm the Raiders, I probably am not as worried about getting a starting level player back because the Cowboys thought that they were going to be competitive, whereas the Raiders are going to have a rookie quarterback and not have much on the roster, especially on defense. They got some things on offense and Genty and Bowers, but they don't have much on defense. If I'm the Raiders, I want at minimum a first-round pick and then multiple mid-round picks. You're going to give me your first-round pick, your second-round pick, and then a 5th-round pick. That is the minimum that I would accept for Maxx Crosby. If you get in a bidding war between teams, they might even be able to get a first-round pick and next year's first-round pick. So should the Titans be giving up what it would cost to get Maxx Crosby? Absolutely not. They should not be trading 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby, or a first, a second, and a 5th, or any combination that you want to put together. That absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. So the fact that the Titans were listed as the number 2 team, the odds to get Maxx Crosby, I just think it's absolute nonsense. Now, would Crosby fit on the defense? Absolutely. Would Crosby be a big boost to the Titans' overall talent level? Maxx Crosby and Jeffrey Simmons together would absolutely wreck the NFL. If he was a free agent and the Titans could just go out and sign him, I'd pay $40 million a year for Maxx Crosby. But giving up the picks that are necessary to get Maxx Crosby, I'm sorry. I said it a month ago. I'm going to say it now. What Maxx Crosby will cost in a trade is way too much for the Tennessee Titans to give up with where they're at as a football team right now. Now, with that being said, though, the reaction that I've seen from Tennessee Titans fans doesn't make any sense to me either. Do you guys not know who Maxx Crosby is? Do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by TurboTax. It's tax time. But for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with your stack of papers, emailing back and forth, wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in, meeting a real person, and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to TurboTax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment today. Today's episode is also brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, your inbox is overflowing, and the one position that you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, that's a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, that's a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. And listeners of my show are going to get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Support my show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? That's a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. College basketball is nonstop. You got big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that college basketball energy into an even bigger potential win with a college basketball parlay playoff boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want. Rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits your reads. You can mix spreads, totals, player props to match how you see the slate playing out. You can then apply the profit boost and instantly bump up your potential payout. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team that you've been following all season. Look for the underdog. Doesn't matter. It's your parlay, your style, and now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Titans fans, let's continue today's bonus edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Again, looking at the Maxx Crosby madness. It seems like it's whipped the Titans fan base into a frenzy, seeing him associated with the Titans as one of the top teams to get him, but that doesn't make any sense. And again, we're talking about, outside sources, not reports saying that the Titans are interested. I explained why it wouldn't make sense for the Titans to pay what it's going to cost to get Maxx Crosby, but I have said that if all that it took to get Maxx Crosby was the number 4 pick, like if the Titans could simply give the Raiders the number 4 pick in the draft and get Maxx Crosby, I would do that in a second. I would snap my fingers and it would be done. And the pushback that I've seen just does not make any sense to me whatsoever. I've seen people say he's too expensive. What do you mean he's too expensive? The Titans have $100 million in cap space and could cut Calvin Ridley, cut L'Jarius Sneed, cut Tony Pollard, extend Jeffrey Simmons, and open up $40 million more dollars. If the Titans cut L'Jarius Sneed cut Calvin Ridley, cut Tony Pollard, and extended Jeffrey Simmons, that's the $40 million that you need for Maxx Crosby. And a friendly reminder that just because a player gets $40 million per year, $30 million per year, $10 million per year, that doesn't mean that that's what they cost on the salary cap. The contract, the signing bonus, is divvied out and spread out throughout the life of the contract. So all you got to pay is a portion of the signing bonus and whatever salary you give. That's why, the first year Calvin Ridley was with the Titans, he got, $23 million per year, but was only like $8 million on the salary cap his first year. Teams finagle these contracts so that what you pay APY, average per year, is not what is actually hitting the salary cap. Dan Moore's salary cap hit last year was like $10 million, and he got $22 million per year. So if you think that Maxx Crosby's average per year is what his salary cap hit is, you need to stay locked into the Locked On Titans podcast because you got a lot to learn about how finances work in the NFL. But regardless of that, the point is the Titans have more money than God. They could sign Maxx Crosby right now, and it wouldn't be a problem at all. They'd still have $75 to $85 million of salary cap space to work with, even if they got Maxx Crosby and gave him a big-time extension. So if you're saying, oh, he's too expensive, nope, get out. That doesn't work. Then I see, oh, he's too old. Maxx Crosby doesn't turn 29 until August. And for all of you people saying he's too old, he's too old, he's too old, he's the same age as Jeffrey Simmons. How can you sit here and say that Maxx Crosby is too old when you want to keep Jeffrey Simmons around? If Jeffrey Simmons isn't too old to be a part of the Titans' future, then how can Maxx Crosby be too old to be a part of the Titans' future? And later tonight, I'm going to talk about Trey Hendrickson, who's going to be a free agent, who would be the number one target in free agency for me. Hendrickson is 31 years old. You know why I'm not worried about paying Trey Hendrickson? Because edge rushers age gracefully. Khalil Mack, 35. Cam Jordan, 37. I mean, Von Miller's about 40 years old and still getting opportunities. Edge rusher, pass rusher, defensive line is one of the best aging positions in the NFL. And Maxx Crosby is the same age as Jeffrey Simmons. None of you guys are saying Big Jeff is too old to be good and be with the Titans when they become a real contender. Because pass rushers age gracefully. It's about technique. It's about physicality. It's about understanding of what offensive linemen are going to do. So too expensive, too old, get out of here with that. Those are terrible pushbacks against Maxx Crosby. And then the one that makes the least amount of sense of all is that he's not worth the number 4 pick. Do you not know who Maxx Crosby is? 6'5", 255 pounds, has been a Pro Bowler 5 straight times, has been a 2-time All-Pro second team player. He has in his last 4 seasons 12.5 sacks, 14.5 sacks, 7.5 sacks in 2024 when he only played 12 games. He had 10 sacks last year in 15 games for the Raiders, who had nobody to help him on the defensive line. He's had 70 sacks in 7 years. Forced fumbles, 11 in his career. Like, this is a top 5 edge rusher in the NFL, a top 20 player, top 15 player, in my opinion, in the NFL. And everybody says, oh, he had a season-ending injury last year. He played 15 games, and the Raiders shut him down because they wanted the number 1 pick. They tanked. He even got on social media and said, I don't need this surgery. I want to play. Now, you could say, oh, he did have surgery. Every NFL player has a surgery in the offseason. TJ Watt has been hurt. Micah Parsons just had an ACL. Who do you want to name? What edge rusher, what great player in the NFL do you want to name? They've all had a season end early. They've all missed a couple of games. They've all had an off-season surgery. This is the NFL. Injury rate is 100%. So Maxx Crosby played 15 games last year, and you're telling me that he's too injured to give a contract to? What are you talking about? It's nonsense. This guy is a top 3, top 5 edge rusher in the game. And here's my final point. People want to say, oh, the top 4 pick, you can't give away. You really would rather have Jeremiah Love over Maxx Crosby, Ruben Bain, David Bailey, Arvell Reese. These dudes will never sniff Maxx Crosby's level of play. Ever. Get out of here. Ruben Bain and David Bailey might be good edge rushers. They are never going to be Maxx Crosby. What are we saying here? Again, I think it's asinine that Titans fans thinks that Maxx Crosby wouldn't be worth the number 4 pick. You would pray to the football gods that either of those dudes could be 80% of Maxx Crosby with the number 4 pick. So he's not too old. He's not too injured. He's not too expensive. He's not just not good enough. That's all insane. Now, again, the number 4 pick in the draft is not going to be enough to get Maxx Crosby. The Raiders will require more, and I'm not willing to pay it. But the pushback that I've seen of expensive, old, not good, like nonsense. If the Raiders would take number 4, the Titans would do that trade in a second. The reality is it's going to cost more than that, and that's why the Titans are not going to do it. But with that being said, we need to talk about edge rushers that are going to be available to the Titans, and I'm going to do that on tonight's show where I do my free agency preview on the entire edge rusher class with all eyes on Trey Hendrickson. But with that being said, that's going to do it for me today, folks. Make sure that you guys check out the Locked On Titans Everydayer Club. You're going to get ad-free versions of the podcast in your podcast app. You're going to get added to the Locked On Titans group chat with all the other everydayers. It's basically the cost of a cup of coffee every single month when you get nonstop free content all year round. And use the promo code FREEAGENCY. If you use the promo code FREEAGENCY, you're going to get a free month to try it out. Hit the link down below in the description of the show. Go to lockedontipodcast.com/everydayer or lockedontitans.supercast.com. If you really want to be a true Locked On Titans everydayer, you got to join the Everydayer Club. But with that being said, again, that's going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.